right, I bought a junkyard engine for my grandson's CRV 2005, and I ordered one of those cheap endoscopes off of Amazon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox that, try to make a quick video just on how well this thing's going to work. But you're going to find out at the same time that I do. Let me turn the camera around and unbox it and show you. Okay, I pulled it out of the box and didn't have everything centered, so here it is out. The camera that's on the end has all those little lights around it that light up when you go into your phone and open up the app to run it. As you can see, mine is for a ISO Apple, and I believe they also made it for Androids. But that lead, I think it's 10 or 12 foot long, and that has got an adjustment on the amount of light, but also, that adjustment is right here on this little controller. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little dash there and a sunshine there. So you're able to spool that up to the brightness that you want when you get it into this area. But they also sent 2 packs of these little adapters for the ends. And one is got like a little mirror on it that I think that's, in the dark spot you might be able to reflect and see. It's got a little hook, and this one's got a magnet. And then it also has some replacement plastic pieces. But the way this works is these have little clips on the side, and there's a little indentations here on the side of this case of the camera. So you slip it on there and it snaps. So with this particular one, you see something that you've lost and you might be able to hook onto it and bring it out of where it was. This one has a magnet on it, and mine happened to come with 2 packets of those little adapters. But what I'm going to do is turn this around and get it set up and show some footage of it down in a spark plug hole of this junkyard engine to see if there's any kind of scoring on the inside of those cylinder walls. Look at the 3 different levels of zoom right there before I go into this intake port. And when you get in here, you can see that there's some carbon buildup right after the injector there, but it's fairly clean around the valve seats. And there's not a whole lot of buildup around the stem and the base of that valve itself. But this has the VTEC system, so there are 2 intake valves. One is works more prominent than the other one till the RPMs increase. But I'm going to end up going into each cylinder intake side. There you can see the exhaust valve because that intake is open, and you can see some of the grime laying around in that cylinder. But I think this is like we're working from the back end of the engine towards the transmission. So we've gone into each one from that direction. And they all seem to be a little on the dirty side, and I'll get in there and clean that up. But now this is going down through the spark plug hole, and you can see that there's quite a bit of carbon buildup and quite a bit of debris that is laying on the sides of the cylinders. And I'm going to end up hooking on a hose on the end of a vacuum sweeper and sucking out as much of that debris as possible. There you can see some paint chips that are in there. One of the intake ports, I think it was on number 2 cylinder, that valve was open and there were paint chips in the intake port itself. but I'll have to figure out a way to try to get those out of there before starting this engine. And there you can see I adjusted the light a little bit as it was coming out, and I believe that is probably oh, that's that number 2 cylinder again, because it still has the paint showing there. And I did end up making some still pictures here later on in the video that gives you, an idea. Yeah, that is water from when I was pressure washing. I blew off some of the duct tape that was covering up the intake port. And when we get back to the video where I'm talking, you're going to see how I set it up in order to be able to manipulate that around and hold the camera at the same time. But I seem to be, I'm satisfied with this endoscope. For I believe it was like 27 or 28 bucks for this unit. I think well worth the price. Good picture. I like the adjustable light on the end of it, but I think it was money well spent. So pretty quickly here, we're gonna get back and show you the setup, how I was able to do this and move everything around. All right, this is my setup. I had my phone on the tripod, had the unit plugged in, and over here I had the light turned up all the way, the excess coiled up over there on the edge. Here the camera is running. Looks like I got some dirt on it there. Clean that off. Yep, there, nice and clean now. But then I would put it down in the hole, and in order to do this, you had to straighten it out pretty well, but you had to get right over top of it. And the piston is all like top dead center on that one. So I'll switch cylinders, and I'll go to one of the center two, and I'm gonna have to lean over top again and see down in there. Okay, and there's the piston down below. That is after I cleaned it up, but you can see the relief in there for the valves, and earlier you saw some paint down in this next one. So I'm going to go back down into this cylinder and try to make it into there. I'm going to have to reach over and look again, kind of lose you for a second. But then I'll go back here, and that's the one that had that paint in it. And what I did is I took one of the WD-40 cans that had the long extension on it right there, and being on the engine stand, I turned it on its side and sprayed and directed the nozzle at the end. I would take and just bend it a little bit so that I could spray against the sides of the cylinders, and that enabled me to get a good quantity of that WD-40 down in and along the cylinder walls to push down any of the junk that was along the edge. Now I'm sure that there is some still in this area right up in here, where it got down in the rings, but I'm just going to deal with it. I'm not going to take the head off and clean that out of there. Hopefully it'll blow out when I start it up. But that's a pretty clear picture, and I did the same things As far as down into the intake valves, now I don't think I'm going to pull off the exhaust manifold and go in that direction, but able to clean things up a little bit and get it ready. So as far as this unit goes, almost landed on my face there, this wired endoscope, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. And if you get a chance, go over and check out some of the other videos on my channel. Thanks for watching.